What's up, everybody? Nox here, and today we are talking about my Amazon journey. We are now just reached maps. Haven't done a single map yet, but I wanted to talk about the build as I have it so far, kind of as a end of day one or day two, whatever it is, snapshot of where we're at, and sort of give you guys some leveling tips that I learned along the way on how to be a little bit more successful. So right now we're level 62. Starting right at level 1, you get Whirling Slash and Twister. Now this combination is very, very strong, especially when you tailor it or you buff Twister with Barrage. I have it somewhere. I don't know. Whatever. If you buff Twister with Barrage, it shoots out even more projectiles. Feels good, man. More projectiles are great. Now, people are saying Twister might be bugged. I don't know. It does a lot of damage. They deal 80% more damage per whirlwind stage, so that's, you know, that times 3, and then they gain an extra 50% damages extra of the thing on the ground, which is going to be chilled ground for us. Does a lot of damage. I don't know if it's bugged or if it's just the only skill with proper damage numbers early on Huntress, but it is what it is. I'll post a video right now in the background. This is of my friend Feather. He's playing SSF and he's one-tapping stuff. It hits like a truck. So the general gameplay loop is you put a Whirling Slash down. If you do that, then it kind of stays with you. So I'll just use it here real quick. When you have Whirling Slash, this just stays pretty much infinitely. Stays for a really, really long time. And then you stand here and you wait to parry. You parry, and then you consume the parry debuff of Fangs of Frost to drop a chilled ground on the ground. And then you Barrage Twister, and it shoots out all these projectiles, just like in the video. So there you go. That's kind of the win button, or 5 buttons, I guess, for Huntress early on. However, if you want a more comfy cozy play style like I did, again, I did not like this at all, you have Rake and Stomping Ground. So you've probably heard this video, you've probably heard this from other content creators before, so I'll go super briefly. Rake combined with Stomping Ground. Stomping Ground deals damage based upon your strength. So you'll see in my passive tree, I have a decent amount of strength. Rake is a travel skill. It pulls a Stomping Ground. You link it with Brutality early to deal 25% more damage, and then later Lacerate. Why Lacerate? Because while Rake has a 100% chance to apply a bleed, Stomping Ground does not, and Stomping Ground hits harder than Rake. Rake is just the delivery mechanism for Stomping Ground, so Lacerate allows you to bleed a little bit more. Herald of Blood early on, fantastic. Clears really, really well. Strongly recommend it. Feels good, sounds good, looks good. Herald of Blood is awesome. Later, you will get Blood Hunt. I linked it with Execute. This consumes bleeding on an enemy and does an explosion and consumes the blood loss. It's like high physical damage, all of that stuff. And then Execute for the 25% more damage. So, and then Companion. Companion is okay. I got a Quadrilla with a regen buff. Let me turn off Combat Frenzy real quick. So this guy hangs out with me. You'll kind of notice little vines and shit sticking out of him. He pulses healing. He does die pretty often, but he'll like come back up, pulse the healing. The healing buff stays on you whether or not he lives or dies, and then he's back into his Pokeball for 8 more seconds when he dies. Companions are cool. I haven't tried out too many. This is the first one I got. Worked for me for a little while, and then I transitioned to what we're playing now. So what are we playing now? We are playing Stormlance and Lightning Spear and Thunderous Leap. We're full Lightning Javason. This is what I wanted to play from Jump Street, and it was really rough early on, but I'm glad we finally got it going. So Stormlance is linked to Electrocute, and that is because we need to generate Frenzy Charges. We generate Frenzy Charges with Sniper's Mark and Combat Frenzy. Combat Frenzy is when you electrocute an enemy, you gain a Frenzy Charge. We have that linked to Profusion, so we have a chance to get an additional charge. And Stormlance is also linked to Lightning Infusion and Primal Armament. Now, I was going to put Concentrated Effect in Stormlance. However, Concentrated Effect does not change the damage numbers in the tooltip, and I couldn't notice a difference in its damage when I was using it. So I have a dead 5 link right now. Is what it is, baby. So that's what we got going. Stormlance, Electrocute, Lightning Infusion, Primal Armament. When I put Concentrated Effect in, You'll notice that the Lodge Spear doesn't do any damage. The Frenzy Charge section doesn't do any extra damage. It's just is what it is. So, yep. For Lightning Spear, we have that linked to Martial Tempo, just for the extra attack speed. You might want to do Cadence if you have that as well, depending on where your attack speed is. And Volt. So Volt is one of the strongest support gems in the game. Highly recommend you link it with Lightning Spear. Feels really good. You'll see this little buff at the top. So we'll be running around. We'll cast a Lightning Spear. And when it hits something, including a wall, it will chain 3 additional times when we have the max stacks. And it will deal 15% extra damage as lightning, which is very nice. We also have that link to Long Shot. We're hitting things from far away with Lightning Spear. We're kind of staying at range, so that works out with our playstyle. We also have Herald of Thunder linked to Precision and Clarity for mana regen, and the accuracy will lead us right into our Ascendancy. Critical Strike was the first Ascendancy node that I took. I know I mentioned in a previous video that I might take Elemental Infusion first. I do not have consistent enough Frenzy Charge generation early game to make this worth it, so I decided to take Critical Strike. Critical Strike, what's nice about it is it works with everything. Works with Stomping Ground, works with Lacerate, works with the Twister and Whirlwind combo, or Whirling Slash combo. Feels good. Critical Strike, fantastic. The next one I took was Predatory Instinct. Again, 25% more damage on average. This felt good. It was nice to time my Blood Huns in that little window to deal chunky extra damage to bosses and things like that. I would probably do these Ascendancies exactly the same if I was doing it again. Talking about the tree real quick, I did come down to Primal Instinct right away. This is sort of the basic leveling tree that I have. Come over here. I did take a bunch of strength nodes because we were doing the Lacerate Stomping Ground combo, whatever jewel I could find. I rushed this Maiming Strike early just for the extra movement speed. I did take Escape Velocity early again for the movement speed. And then after those 2 little clusters, I rushed straight down for the Speared nodes. These are great for any version of the Amazon that you're playing, provided that you're going crit, and we are. After that, I came up here for these crit nodes and came over here for these versatile arms. Again, just generic damage, and then you can sort of transition into other stuff. I did grab the attack speed and accuracy nodes, followed by the pinpoint nodes, followed by the herald nodes. I didn't finish this electrocution one. I think I'm gonna spec out of this build up and maybe grab something else over here. That's why it's kind of scuffed. Tree's kind of scuffed. Don't follow it 100% necessarily. This is just my template of what I was doing. And then we went over here to Frenetic. Now, right now, this isn't so great. However, my plan is to get more consistent frenzy charge generation from another set of gloves, whose name I forget right now. Maybe I'll put it in the video, whatever. You'll see it on the next update. And yeah, hopefully this will be a little bit more fun to use. It was noticeable to get extra frenzy charges, especially on single target. Once you get the max frenzy charges right away, you're just chucking storm lances in, they blow up. It's awesome. And then we're probably going to move up here towards these efficient crit nodes. General gameplay style of the build for single target, which I didn't go over, is, let me grab Stormlance, is you'll apply your sniper's mark to a target and you can Stormlance them until you get a frenzy charge. If you already have one, it'll blow up automatically. However, if you don't have one and can't generate them for some reason, maybe you don't have electrocute yet, you do a couple of storm lances and then you thunder sleep on top of them and it detonates them. This does a ton of damage. This is like a really good clear skill before Lightning Spear really comes online and starts to feel good. It's good for tanky rares if you don't have a frenzy charge even. Feels great to play that way. So that was my experience. I'll give you guys an update after I do some more maps. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.